If I say positive psychology, what pops into your head? Maybe just be happy, or think positive and everything will work out, or the classic good vibes only. But here's the truth. Positive psychology is not pretending life is perfect. It's not ignoring the stresses, sadness, or real life problems. It's definitely not about forcing itself to smile through tough situations. Positive psychology is way more practical than that. It's basically the science of answering questions like what helps people bounce back after setbacks? What helps people feel meaning, not just short term happiness? What makes relationships stronger? How do some people stay motivated, focused, and confident even under pressure? So, if you ever wondered how do I build a life that feels good and works well, positive psychology is one of the best places to start. And by the end of this video, you'll know what positive psychology is, what it studies, why it matters, and a few simple things you can try today. Also, a quick note before we dive in, check out the pinned comment below for helpful resources on this topic. So, what is positive psychology? Positive psychology is a branch of psychology that scientifically studies what makes life worth living, what helps people thrive, and how to build strengths, not just weaknesses. Traditionally, psychology has done amazing work helping people with things like anxiety, depression, trauma, addiction, and other mental challenges. But for a long time, psychology focused on what's wrong and how do we reduce suffering. Positive psychology doesn't replace that. Instead, it adds another question: what's right and how do we build more of it? It's the difference between taking someone from a -5 to a 0, which is to reduce pain, or helping someone go from a 0 to a +5, which is building well-being. Both matter. Because even if someone isn't clinically depressed, they might still feel unmotivated, disconnected, stuck, or like life is just flat. Positive psychology answers how do we move from surviving to thriving? So, why did positive psychology become a thing in the first place? Because researchers noticed something important. If you only study what's broken, you don't fully understand what makes people strong. Think about it like health. If all you study is disease, you learn a lot about what causes illness and how to treat it, but you might miss what creates actual health, energy, and resilience. Positive psychology is like nutrition and fitness side of mental health. It looks at habits that support well-being, mental skills that build resilience, ways people create meaning, and how they develop satisfying relationships. And it asks, what can we do proactively before everything falls apart? Because most people don't want to wait for a crisis to start caring about their mental well-being. They want tools now. So what does positive psychology actually study? Let's break it into a few major areas. Number one, positive emotions, but not only happiness. This includes emotions like joy, gratitude, hope, calm, curiosity, inspiration. But here's the key. Positive psychology doesn't say only feel positive emotions. It says positive emotions are valuable because they can be broaden your thinking, help you reconnect, and build resources over time. So instead of asking the question, what's your biggest flaw? Positive psychology asks, what are your strengths and how you can use more of them? Strengths could be things like perseverance, kindness, creativity, leadership, humor, love of learning, and self-control. And the goal isn't to be good at everything. It's to know what you're already good at and build from there. Next is meaning and purpose. And this is a big one. Meaning is that feeling I'm doing something that matters. It can come from relationships, helping others, learning, faith, creating things, working around a goal, or contributing to a community. Positive psychology takes relationships seriously because it turns out a huge chunk of happiness and life satisfaction comes from having supportive people, healthy communication, and a sense of belonging. Next is achievement and motivation. Not achievement like chasing trophies nonstop, more like setting goals that matter, building confidence, learning from failure, staying motivated in a healthy way. So overall, positive psychology is really about skills and habits that build well-being, internally and socially. Now let's talk about a few frameworks you might hear about. One of the most popular models is called PERMA. It breaks well-being into 5 parts: positive emotions, engagement, getting in the zone, relationships, meaning, accomplishment. The point of PERMA is simple. Well-being isn't just being happy. It's made of multiple ingredients. So if you're not feeling great, you can ask, which piece of PERMA is missing right now? Maybe you need more connection, maybe more meaning, or engagement, or goals that feel real. Another big idea is flow. Flow is a state where you're so engaged that you lose track of time. You're fully focused and you feel challenged but capable. Flow tends to happen when the challenge is just hard enough. You're using skills you practice and you're in a distraction free environment. Think about playing a sport, drawing, coding, writing, gaming, playing music, or even solving a puzzle. Flow is important because one of the most reliable ways to feel energized, confident, and deeply satisfied. Strength-based living. This approach says instead of obsessing over what you're bad at, learn how to use what you're good at more often. Not to ignore the weaknesses, but to build your life around your strengths so you're not constantly swimming upstream. Okay, so how does this show up outside of research? So in school, positive psychology might look like teaching students emotional skills, building growth mindset, helping students identify strengths, reducing burnout, and building a sense of belonging. In sports, it might be mental resilience training, confidence building routines, learning to refocus after mistakes, creating team culture and trust. At work, it can show up as improving teamwork, preventing burnout, making goals clearer, building motivation and morale, encouraging a healthier feedback. And at home, it can look like communication skills, gratitude habits, family routines that build connection, and setting boundaries that protect mental health. So, positive psychology isn't just a mindset, it's used in education, therapy, coaching, workplaces, and even everyday life. So, let's clear up a few misunderstandings. Misconception number one: positive psychology means always being happy. No. Healthy life includes a full range of emotions: sadness, anger, stress, grief. Those can all be normal and meaningful. Positive psychology is more like, how do we respond to life challenges in ways that help us grow? Misconception number two: if I'm struggling, it's my fault because I'm not positive enough. Absolutely not. Positive psychology doesn't blame you for the pain. It's not saying just think happy thoughts. It's saying they're learnable skills that can help, and you can build them over time. Misconception number three: it ignores mental illness. No, it does not replace clinical psychology. It complements it. If someone is dealing with serious anxiety or depression, professional support can be crucial. Positive psychology tools can still help, but they're not meant to be a substitute for treatment when treatment is needed. Let's do a few tiny exercises you can try today. Nothing complicated. The 3 good things exercise. At the end of each day, write down 3 good things that happened today. And for each one, answer, why did it happen? This trains your brain to notice what's working and what you did that helped. Savoring. Pick one moment, right now or later, and pay full attention to it, like the taste of food, the song you like, a warm shower, a funny moment with a friend, or the sunlight through a window. The goal is to fully experience something good instead of letting it blur past. Strength spotting. Ask yourself, what did I do today that showed strength? It could be, I kept going even when I didn't want to. That's perseverance. I helped someone. Kindness. I tried something new. Bravery. I stayed calm in a stressful situation. Self-regulation. This builds self-awareness and confidence in a realistic way. Next is the meaning check. Ask, what am I doing lately that feels meaningful? If the answer is not much, that's not failure. That's information. Meaning can be built by contributing, learning, creating, connecting, or working towards something that matters to you. Even small steps count. So what is positive psychology? It's a science of well-being, strengths, meaning, engagement, relationships, and building a life that works. not just a life that looks fine on the outside. And the best part is, a lot of these skills are trainable. You don't need to become a totally different person. You just need better tools, better habits, and a clear focus. Check the pinned comment below for a summary of positive psychology and what we talked about today, and click on the like button. See you next time.